Welcome to Heartman Dialogues, where we explore deep questions and open-hearted conversations about living a meaningful life to your full potential while making impact. Today, I'm honored to have a very insightful and remarkable guest. He's been in the media industry and as a journalist, then a business editor, and went on to be a managing director of a well-respected media house. And now he is retired and having his own company. This is Bakari Machumu.
Asante.
Welcome.
Asante sana.
How do you feel being here?
Excited. I like the setup and to get to know how things are real done.
Okay, that's good. I'm taking your Sunday, your golf Sunday.
Yeah, we are born to serve.
Okay,
So
that's
part of
the
service.
spirit. That's the spirit.
Yeah.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
So we're going to discuss about your journey, your experiences. I believe there's so many people who wanted to hear about your experiences, and I myself, I really love that we had a coffee catch up and we are here now talking. So I really think this will bring an impact to someone else who's been wishing to have a coffee catch up with Bakari Machumu and get to understand his career, how he's done it. So I really think it's going to be an insightful conversation. So maybe just to ask, we always plan, I'm going to retire when I'm 40, when I'm 50. Or some people say I won't retire. And I know you probably planned it for a while, but the day or the moment, you are sure, this is the time I want to retire. This is the time, this is the year I'm retiring. What feelings came up to you? And
Interesting. So thank you, Becky, for having me. And I'm humbled to have this opportunity. Remember when we met for coffee, telling me about the idea of what you want to do. I was like, I've done a lot of interviews since I retired. So I'm kind of don't see if there will be much to talk, but you are persistent. So I heeded to your call, and here we are. Yeah, so yes, I started planning it a long time ago. And maybe what is important to me is what took me into that thought of starting to plan it. It's a fear of the responsibilities I had, the responsibility I was looking at. My family, my own family, my parents had retired a long time ago. Actually, they retired when I was finishing university or before that.
Wow.
So it's a long time ago. And then I'm looking at how do we get out of this cycle of just getting food on the table, but any simple small shock, you are disoriented as a family, as a clan. So that fear of that, and number two, I am working now. What will happen if I get out of this job? I'm fired or what? So that fear pushed me to start thinking of how do I develop myself as I continue working? How do I put myself in a position where whatever happens at any given time, I should be able to stand up and face the world and believe that ntatoboa anywhere else. So that is what was driving me. And I started planning it a while ago. But again, they say, you can plan all year long, but the moment it is here, it's a different story. And no one puts it better than Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson says, everyone has a plan until they get punched on the face. So when you are hit with that punch, everything else goes in disarray.
Okay.
So how do you reorganize yourself when face the challenge?
Okay.
So I planned, but at the D-Day, the D-year, I am still looking at, for me to leave, I was also working on how do I nurture someone who will take over.
Like a succession plan.
Succession plan.
Yeah.
So it was a struggle I went through for 3 years. And I was telling my colleagues, the members of the executive committee at Mwananchi Communication, that I don't have much time here. I am not going to serve this position after I was confirmed for more than 3 years. So guys, you might be sitting on this chair one day. But when I was leaving, I realized they didn't take it serious.
Very seriously.
They were like, oh, so you meant what you said. So in that process, I tried to see how within the team can we work very closely with someone who will take the torch. So it was a bit challenging. And in the end, I left it to Victor Mushi. But to be fair to him, I think he did not have enough time to get to gain the experience needed enough for him to move forward. So that was one of the things which was now a challenge when I got to that year. Number two, I was to tell the team, the group, the chairman of the board. So I was like, the moment I step into the chairman and tell him I'm going to leave my position, retire early, it is going to be a tough conversation.
Yeah.
And what if he says no? Number two, at the group level, I need to engage the group CEO. What if he says no? And then once I have an alignment at the office, number three was at home.
Yeah.
I knew if I tell my wife, she will not accept it. So I said, okay, this one, I'm going to park it until that time when I'm sure of these other things. Because we have had a conversation before, and I believe she knew that I'd always intended to leave. Even when I was appointed to take over from Francis Nanai, when he left the company to pursue the interests, that year I was going to leave in December. That was 2020, the COVID year.
Oh, okay. So
mid-year,
like 4 years back.
Yeah. So mid-year, my CEO pulls the first one on me. He resigns mid-year, and I'm asked to take over. So I heed to the call. But 4 years later, I was like, this will be it. I'm not going to go beyond this. Number 4 was my daughter. Now, my daughter was a difficult one. It was eating me alive, you might say. She's in university, second year, 2 years to go. And if I step aside, and if I don't find means to earn enough income to sustain her in her school, she has everything to lose, and she rely on me.
Yeah.
So I had plan A, plan B, plan C of how to talk to convince her on how, why I'm going to resign or retire early. So I happened to travel and go, and I had a chance to meet her. So you're preparing for a difficult conversation. And I tell her, remember I said I want to retire early? She said, yeah, you said that. Yeah, so on 30th of May, it's going to be my birthday. And after that, we are going to announce that retiring. Say, yeah, you said it.
It went smooth.
And I'm like, okay, are you? No, you've always said that. And the discussion ended there. We started talking about the other things.
After preparing with plan
After
A,
preparing,
plan B.
But
Okay.
so, and my siblings, brother and sisters, them, they were, you've said, you've told us before, so we believe in you. If you see that is how you want it to play it, let it be. So it was, to answer your question in a long way, and now summarizing it, it was a lot of uncertainty coming from what if was from the people you are working with, your family, your close people. And my friend, most of them, I think one knew I've been always talking about this, and I bounce my thoughts through him when he gives you. And so you test it with some few mentors, and they tell you, I think you are right. Yeah, you
can go.
You can go on.
Yeah.
So you have to. It has to be a calculated risk, so to speak. So you plan, but again, you don't know what will happen. Yeah.
Okay. I can imagine, because sometimes you just plan, you don't anticipate
You don't know
how
what,
difficult it's
yeah,
going to be when you
absolutely.
start talking to people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there are days, the early days when I lost sleep for like 2-3 days. Yet I just find myself, it is 1-2 a.m. and I've been in bed for the past 3-4 hours. Why aren't I sleeping?
Yeah.
And then after 2-3 days, it went away. And that was coming from, after now making the announcement, people are wondering, what is this guy up to? What are you up to?
Yeah.
So I think that gave me some thought of like, did I make a wrong decision? Step back and think about it again. But then when I said, no,
this is what I wanted for a long time. Yeah.
And after that, I never looked back.
Okay, that's nice. Yeah. So once now you've retired, then you get to actually the real world. Now you're retired. What do you think was the things that you did anticipate and you're planning for them? But what was the major shifts that really you're like, okay, I did not plan for this. I did not anticipate for this.
A couple of things. One, I did not think my retirement will be perceived like a plan to go somewhere else, either in government or in politics. So I found myself under a lot of pressure onto that. But deep down my heart, I knew what I was planning, I was intending to do. But the struggle was how to tell someone, no, this is not
my plan.
And they look you in the face and you look back to them and they don't see them believing a single word from what you are saying. Okay. So those were the early days. And surprisingly, to date, as we speak, there are still people thinking that, no, you are just kidding. You had,
Yeah.
But that was not, so that, handling that, I had to get out of social media for like 3 days at some stage because of the conversation which you are going on there. And I said,
noise,
you know what?
Everywhere. Yeah.
Take a break.
Yeah. You read here, maybe he's going for an appointment.
So I decided I am not touching my social media accounts.
Wow.
So after some times, I think we went back into normal. The other thing I did not expect was, I said part of the plan was slow down, because working in the media company, and at a time where media is struggling economically, there's a lot of stakeholders balancing different needs. So all this pressure will always keep you operating at an adrenaline level. So you don't have life, so to speak. So it was hectic, it was draining. So I said, I need to step back and take care of myself a little bit for once. So I'll do things at my own pace. The surprising thing is, and this is another fight with my wife, she's not happy that I am becoming busier than I used
to be.
And I think naturally, when you are starting something new, there's a lot of uncertainties.
Yeah.
And because you are still a startup or a small entity, you have to be involved in almost everything. And when you are putting up those systems, structures, and what have you, processes, compliance issues, you have to be involved. Short of that, that thing will die. And I get encouragement from Steve Jobs. I was watching a clip a few days ago. And he was saying, he was talking about when they were starting up and how they had to be at everything, do everything within the organization. So I had an aha moment. I said, oh, okay. So this is not strange. But the encouragement about it is you are into a different territory. You are facing different challenges, and I am enjoying the ride. Because I am now learning. When I was working as CEO of Mwananchi, I will ask questions, follow up. Where are we on this? And when someone tells you we are having challenge, we haven't gotten response from this authority or this regulator, you'll be like, you guys are not pushing enough. Now I'm in that space where you are supposed to follow up things, and they'll see the way they. So at times I got frustrated. I was like, why am I putting myself under all these pressures? But again, I said, okay, now don't focus on the tight timelines you have put, that by this date we have to be this, by this date we have. So relax, take it easy, push, but accept reality, go with it as it comes. So we are making progress. And we're optimistic.
Okay. So you moved from being busy, but now you're busy, but with a different purpose, with a different meaning.
Actually, a refined purpose.
A refined purpose. Yeah. Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, that's nice. Interesting. So you know, when you hear people retiring, you'd be expecting now they're like golf Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then traveling and but then there's a different aspect of it, which is a good thing, because sometimes busy is good. Busy is good. So it's a good thing. Okay, it's good that you're enjoying it, the busy time. Okay, so when you look back to your career now, so you've built a successful career. I would love to say that, but then when you look at it, what do you think, what it gave you the most meaning out of it? Like when you look back, you look at places where you think that was more meaningful to me, whether it's impact or anything.
Interesting. Interesting. I think from the team spirit and at the individual level, you can pick a few things here and there. For instance, giving meaning. There are times I would be moving in the streets in Dar es Salaam or in any other parts of the country, and you get stopped by a stranger. I remember at one time I was in Mwenge and Makonde at the people, the art gallery, I think, at that space. We were looking for a gift for one of my mentors. And I step out of one of the shop, and then one young man approaches me. He stops me and he greets me. He mentions in my name. So I'm looking at him, trying to remember if I met him before.
Yes.
So he started talking. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We appreciate what you are doing. You are helping us. You're helping the nation. You're doing so. This is work related. So I engage you. At that point you are like, oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So then I gather courage to ask him, so what is it that touches you specifically? So, we are young people. We are trying to make ends meet, but you speak for the voiceless. You speak on issues which affect our businesses. Oh. So I said, okay, thank you. I'll pass the compliment to the team because they are the ones who go out to deliver what the company wishes to do. Wow. So I leave him. He's happy. I go back to my car. I drive off. I'm like, okay.
I'm actually doing something. Yeah.
So I went back to the office. I tell guys, we might not pay you well as you may wish, but you are doing a noble job out there. So that is one aspect where, as a team, you are able to find a purpose for the organization. Why do we exist? And we have a slogan at Mwananchi that we empower the nation, empowering the nation. So we are challenging reporters, challenging every staff. When we talk of empowering the nation, what does it mean? So when you're writing your story, you have to ask yourself, so if I'm writing this story, so what? How will it help that mama ntilie there? How will it help that small business? How will it help that decision maker, that business person, to make informed decision, to see opportunities and seize them? So we are not here to just criticize. How about proposing or inviting conversation around solutions from the people themselves? So that the intent, the reason why you exist. And we were doing it, people slowly starting to ask themselves that. So that was a big plus for the team and the organization I was leading.
Okay.
The other part would be looking back at the young generation. Again, I was given the task to be managing editor of The Citizen in 2006. I consider myself, I was still young at that particular time, to be given the task to read a newspaper. Having worked as a business editor for 2 years when The Citizen was started in 2004, and then all of a sudden I am pushed, thrown into the deep end. So I I remember being young in the profession, in the leadership of the media, and to be given an opportunity to lead. So looking back, over the years, we have over 60% of our staff then, by the time I was leaving, were millennials, Gen Zs. So we make decisions at the top, mostly Generation X, a few baby boomers, and what have you. So how do we get to empower these young people? So I've always been happy when I see young people with potential and we've given them an opportunities to grow. So that gives me satisfaction when I see that we are able to trust the youth and allow them to make mistakes, learn from their mistake, because that is where experience comes from. So I'll say those two, apart from our contribution in over the years as Mwananchi, as the media industry in general, to the nation building.
Okay.
I think those three will.
Okay, that's nice. I like that, the fact that the first example and the second one all align in speaking for the voiceless, for the ones who don't have a voice. Yes. And when you're in the industry, I think it's very difficult to understand that. But then, because there are a lot of platforms, you feel like someone can speak. But then, as you said, someone like the guy that came up to you, probably if without you guys, without Mwananchi, he would have felt helpless. Like, I cannot say, what can I say to the public? What can I say to the government also? But then feeling, it gave a moment of him feeling seen and like, okay, I actually have a voice through Mwananchi. So that's nice. I think now that you mentioned that, it just made me feel like now I understand why people would approach you, like trying to appoint you in different, because it looks like you're more centered in serving.
I'm humbled.
Yeah, so but it's a good thing. Yeah. Okay, so maybe with it having such meaning, because it's Mwananchi, then it's you, and for the media, it's a very vulnerable industry. So your identity, yourself will always be there up front. Unlike other C-suits, they would show up once in a while. But for you, your voice will be there. And even if something is published, we know that there was an input. You actually had a say for it to go out. So there's that thing of reputation for you. So I just wanted to understand, what are the challenges that you faced in terms of leadership, responsibility, and identity now? So as a managing director, then you're also Bakari as a person. So what are the challenges you faced in your time?
Interesting question. Yeah, as you said, back when you are in the media, I think there are two positions you can choose to play into, and they all have the pros and cons. So media is powerful. Media is powerful. As a tool of communication, media is powerful. So when you are in the position of commanding media operations or writing a story, I think the first thing to do is to understand and appreciate the power you have because of that pen. So you can choose, of the three, you can choose to use it to your advantage, to put people in their places, which resonates to character assassination. Or you can choose to be the darling of people, of individuals, of organizations, institutions, and what have you, and destroy the values and principles of journalism.
Okay.
The third one, you can choose to be in the middle.
Neutral.
Be authentic, be true to your calling, do what is expected as the profession guides us. Now, either way, you'll have friends, you'll have enemies, of all the three options. But which is the good evil? The better evil is in the middle. And we found that, and I've lived that. And in the process, for being in the middle, for following your policies, for being principled, you will make friends and you'll make enemies. But the beauty about it, the comfort comes from the fact that at our quiet moment, we will always appreciate when someone is authentic. He was doing his job, she was doing her job. She had no bad intention, she had no malice. And if it had to be told, it had to be told. Of course, in journalism, there is what we call minimizing harm. So if I am reporting about an issue which affects you, how do I minimize harm? I don't focus at character assassination. I focus on issues.
Okay.
I avoid telling. I might choose to show. I might avoid integrating you as Becky. You are a leader with the authority. I don't bring in your family into that issue. So that's how you tend to minimize harm. So with time, I say that was a good choice for me because I've gone with time from time having people will not be happy today, but after some time they understand you had no bad intention, it was not personal and what have you, and you'll be surprised. You remain to be friend, you respect each other professionally. And that's what build your credibility, your organization credibility, and the respect in the end.
Okay. So, and you said even in the neutrality, even if you decide to be neutral, you still have enemies and you still have friends.
Yeah, because the people, there will be those who will want to be, will be happy for you to attack their enemies. If they are your friends and they have an enemy, so if they see like you are reporting something good about this person, so you've moved camps. No, we are not in any camp. And I like this because I've also listened to President Nelson Mandela. There was an interview he did in the US in the early days when he got out of prison. So he was asked, and they said, no. The mistake some of analysts do is to think their enemy should be our enemies. So we faced that someone will hate you for a moment because they believe, okay, why are you reporting this from this person?
Yeah.
But it's the truth. The next day I'll report about
You-
the other
yeah.
person. And the other person who was happy the other day will be like, why are you, now you have moved it from this to... And then with time, from where we stand, from where we sit, we were happy when you see you are being placed at times from left and from right, and when you are being blamed from left, from right.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow. Okay, so even in being neutral, that's the outcome.
that's the outcome.
So when you look back, I'm sure there are moments that you think or you believe your career has cost you in some way. So what would you say your career costed you? And costing you doesn't mean that it wasn't worth it. It might have cost you, but it still was worth it. So what would you say it has cost you, and maybe what it has rewarded you?
Cost me. Okay, that's a difficult one, because I would not, costing you is when maybe you had an opportunity and you see visibly that you have lost it because of being identified as being independent on for that matter. So I would say not me personally, because I can't pinpoint a specific thing that I was going to get this. Maybe there were things I was going to gain, but
You wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
But for the organization, I think at times we have had situations where someone will just decide to discipline you by just don't giving you business, don't give you advertisement. And this is from the private sector and the public sector, both. Even civil society organizations.
Okay.
Yeah, so it cuts across the board. They'll just, you say, starve you, discipline you kidogo.
Okay.
Yeah, but again, I think I owe a lot from working in the media.
Okay.
It has its risk, but where there are risks, there are also rewards.
Rewards, yeah.
And I started agriculture, but I ended up in the media. I said I will stay for a few years, get to know people, and then I'll follow my field. But I did that for 27 years. And the learnings I got from working as a journalist is immense. The first year when I was working at Business Times, there was this review at the end of the year. They will ask you, so what has changed to you as an individual? I remember putting down something like, now I know how the country is run. Because I'll go into workshops, into meetings, you hear conversation, discussions between private sector, then CTI, TCCIA, Tanzania Private Sector Foundation, the Tanzania National Business Council, engaging with the government, with the foreign investors on how to make business thrive, how to pull in foreign direct investment.
Okay.
So to me, these were not things you get to be taught in school.
Okay.
So I took interest of now seeing that every day I go out on an assignment, I was actually getting these master classes every day.
Yeah.
So that one,
Okay.
that's a huge
Yeah,
benefit.
that's a huge reward, because you're
huge
always learning, and it's you're learning things that are practical. You're learning and
practical.
seeing.
Yeah, learning and seeing.
Okay.
So that was huge. And fast forward, the thing about journalism, sometimes it's good and it's bad. You get to rub shoulders with powerful people, wealth people. Now, if you are not careful, you start thinking you are at the same level.
Okay.
The moment you feel like you are the same level,
Yeah.
these people, they always have interest.
Yeah.
So once their interest is fulfilled, you will become history. So you have to know that.
Yeah.
So with time, when you are, it's a huge opportunity on the other way, because now when you have these acquaintances, I wouldn't say friends, acquaintances, the network, depending on how you carry yourself, how you behave, they become a good network for you in your future endeavors, if you stick to that. So over the years, I think the other benefit has been people getting to know you, what you stand for, what is your reputation. You avoiding to appear and be attended to because you are the MD of Mwananchi or MD of a certain organization. But outside that, will someone embrace you? Will someone still engage you? So you break the ceiling first by, having that connection, and how you continue managing that depends on how it be. So me, I'm happy that I am in that position where I might not be like a stranger to most people. So that is an icebreaker to begin. You move from the first barrier, and now second is if you are approaching someone with a request or something of substance, that's different. But at least if you knock, the door will be opened.
And there's that credibility.
So that's a huge reward.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so for the interest of time, I've explored mostly about your experience, but I don't want my time to end before you passing the torch. So maybe now I want to understand more on what you think. So first thing, with your success, for a person like me, I've seen your name in media. I've seen you in media. Last year I saw you in The Rising Woman, the one that the president was the guest of honor. So seeing you in places like that and just seeing that is a very powerful person, probably. He's made it in his career, and he started in journalism, so he stayed there to reach that ceiling. But you yourself, how do you want people, especially us, the youth, the young people that are trying to get to the C-suite levels, what do you want people to understand about your career? Because when we look from the outside, we just say, okay, this person worked in the same field for this amount of years, maybe the way you do partnerships and with relationships with people. So we understand it doesn't come easy, but also we want to hear it from you, like what is, not the cost, but what do you want us to understand about your success and how you got there?
I think I would struggle to say my success because to succeed as a person is very easy. It's a small goal. Because success for a person, most of the time people think of have a lot of money and what have you and all. But when you have a lot of money, then what? what do you do with that money? So to me, success, I tend to want to believe that it should come from the moment you are able to hear people speaking, appreciating your contribution and how you impacted their lives. And how you impact lives sustainably.
Yeah.
There is this short-term impact. Naomba buku hapo. You want ask 1,000, I give you 1,000. Oh, that's brother is cool. Next time 2,000, it's cool. But how do we get beyond that? Going beyond giving you handouts and challenging you to see your potentials, to inspire you to look into the horizon and see that you have possibilities.
Okay.
So to me, success, I think it is when you as a team, you do something and everyone feels like I contributed to where we are today. So I take pride with what we did at Mwananchi over the years, and more so in my last 4 years, where we are coming from a very bad situation. As a company, we were hit with what hit everyone in the media industry globally. Advertising was going down, circulation was going down, the business model was changing fast, digital technology was coming in, so it disrupted us. And we were not ready to cope quickly. So we went through a period of 4 bad years, year after year, year after year. And my predecessor happened to be in that moment of difficulties. But what he did then is what enabled us to take off.
Okay.
Yeah. He oversaw the company at a time where things were bad, and we kept cutting our fat year after year. Retrenchment after retrenchment. At the end of the year, you do retrenchment. So if you can't grow the top line, you have to manage the middle line. So you manage cost. Wow. So cost, the huge cost comes from staff. So if you are not making money, you cut your cost. Cutting your cost meant retrenchment.
Yeah, letting people
But
go.
Other media houses in Tanzania did not go through that painful experience which we went through under Francis Nanai when he was the CEO. So the seeds he planted by doing the difficult, the donkey work, is what put us at a space where we are able now to recover. So when we started digital transformation in continued with the digital transformation at a different pace and approach. Now, our costs were a little bit down, but then we are in the year of COVID, so another big challenge.
Okay.
So the sense of belief that was built within the team to believe that we can make it happen. We are not going to retrench you, because when I came in, they asked, there was a second entrenchment to happen in that particular year.
Wow.
And they said, we had a conversation in a town hall at the office. So if we asked the board to delay this retrenchment, will we deliver? They said, we are committed to that. So we asked the board, and the board allowed us, okay, we're giving you 3 months. and people worked like crazy. And we started seeing positive results.
Yeah, turning things around.
And that sense of belief from everyone else was the driver of us turning things around. So success to me comes from that position where you see those who had to do donkey work for the future of the company, those who are now took the baton and moved a step above the waters. And as I left, I was talking to the new CEO the other day. They are still doing well. So that is success when it is sustainable and it is enabling the rest of the team beyond yourself to see that they can believe in the future.
Oh, that's a very interesting one. You're really all about serving and impact, which is very nice, and I'm learning a lot about you for that. So, and which I think right now, I would say it's a very big challenge, and maybe we could talk about this. And so, when we look at my perspective, when I look at the C-suits right now, how they're running things, like the way you speak about it, and we look at middle managers right now, who are to be the C-suits of years to come, I think there's a gap, a bit of a gap, the way you run things and the way we run things. I think we're more equipped technical. Yeah, so in terms of that leadership, and there's not a lot of platforms that we get to sit with C-suits and actually have those discussions. You only get to those platforms once you've gotten there, which you've almost tried to figure out your way alone. So maybe what do you think is the challenge right now that middle managers are facing, especially when it comes to the way the strategies we put and the execution part, that when you guys were the CISOs right now, held such positions before, did different, and why do you think we struggle when it comes to strategy and execution, managing people? I think we're very good at technical, but when it comes to leadership, there's a bit of a gap. So what do you think is the difference, and what can we do better?
Interesting. I think it relates to two things, I'll say. One, I think when most middle-level managers, I bet if you ask them, why do you want to ascend to the C-suite? What will be their answers? What will be your answer?
Okay. Lately, if you asked me that question this year, I would link it to impact. Yes, to impact, especially my country. As a person for my country, I would like my country not to be where it is in the next 5 years. So impact, what am I doing for the next generation that is to come? How am I living it? Yeah. But then if you asked me this question 2 years ago, it would be like the C-suite life is lavish, like good money and yeah.
I thought so. I thought so, and I believe it is the thinking of most middle-level managers. They don't have a purpose. So you are given that position. So what? Once you are given, is it for you, or is it for you to uplift others? Is it for you, or is it for you to impact your country, your community, your society? So I think in most cases, people want to get promotion, get to those positions for their own personal benefits. And that's why most don't get into position of leadership. You remain to be a manager and not a leader.
Yeah.
A manager will always think about getting things done, getting the KPIs, and what have you. The other possibilities, potential opportunities around there, they are not much looked at. So that's why, in most cases, people at that level tend to focus on technical skills. If you want to ascend to the C-suite, the technical skill tend to start reducing. I remember one of my directors, when I was business editor at The Citizen, one Mr. Joseph Odindo was the group editorial director from Nation Media Group. So Mwananchi Communications being a subsidiary, we have that direct line in terms of professional guidance. So he came in Dar es Salaam, we were having a chat, and they told me, Bakari, you are doing a very good job as a business editor. We see some potential in you, but until when you start nurturing, coaching, mentoring your team to be able to do what you are doing very well now, we'll keep you in that position to save us in that position.
Okay.
So the trick is make yourself irrelevant at the position you are at the moment. How do you make yourself irrelevant? Delegate. And delegate effective. Let people learn, make mistake, and the other day you not be around, they will. I did that purposely. There were days when I would say, today I'm not coming to the office. Constantine, Sebastian, you are going to sit in that desk to do it. He was furious. No, this is your job. I said, no. I'm not coming. After some years, he became the managing editor of the Sunday Citizen.
Wow.
So, and with that, I think it is when I was pushed up. So, middle-level managers, I think we need to avoid, to conquer our fear of, if I teach this person, my job will be in jeopardy. Actually, you should be looking up. You will be going up.
Yes.
And there will always be room at the top when you. So how do you do that? You do that by first having the purpose. What do you want to do when you get into those positions? And once you do that, you get to that space, now you start working at what qualities, skills do I need to get into those positions? To start reducing my technical skills and start bringing in leadership skills, the soft skills, the essential skills. So unless you are creating vacuum, you can't learn new skills. So you have to create vacuum. When you become irrelevant in the position you are into, so you stop focusing on technical skills.
Okay. So
you start building the other side of the equation. And with that, now people, surprising leaders, people in leadership tend to see people with the qualities of traits of leadership.
Yeah.
When you are given a task, the way you handle it, the way you take it, the way you explain it, you can see there is something here.
Okay.
There is something here. So make yourself to be in that position.
Okay.
And that is what, if I may bring this to us, this is why one of the things I saw is a huge gap and said, in my next chapter after Mwananchi, I want to see how I can play a role in inspiring middle-level managers to first change their mindset, know that you will not get there, so how do you plant the first seeds so that you now start graduating to going into the position where you will be ready for empowerment.
Okay. Wow. Thank you. That's very insightful. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So for the interest of time, I would really love for this conversation to keep going.
Yeah.
But I'm out of time. So maybe my last question or curiosity is BSM Washauri. Yeah. So how's that company going? What do you see for it going forward? What is your vision for it? Yeah. So just to understand what you're doing right now.
Yeah. So thank you for the opportunity. As I touched a little bit on the last question, one of the things I saw when working at Mwananchi as CEO, two things. One, the struggle of middle-level managers to translate vision, strategy from the board, from the management to their teams. Because you can have a strategy and then you must have an operational plan, strategy for that matter. So that shouldn't be the work of the CEO, of the ExCom to come and digest that for you. It makes the job easier when these middle-level managers have the capabilities of sitting with their team and breaking it down in the way they want it. But the metrics still remain the same to attain the ultimate goal. Okay. So I saw there's a huge gap there. Number two, we were working with a few startups and young entrepreneurs. We want to partner with them. So we realized they have a lot of challenges. They are not credible. They don't have structures. They don't have governance. And these are key qualities if you have to play with the big boys, be it government, be it corporate.
Yeah.
So they can't give you business if you are not credible.
Yes.
So you see there's a huge opportunity there. So BSM Washauri, we set it up to focus on key three pillars: business and leadership advisory, which will include middle-level managers, as I said, empowering them with the essential skills, small business startups, helping them to build credibility through having structure and governance. How do you go about doing that? But that's the B. The S stands for Strategy 360. So we review, we develop, we help organizations to move from just having a strategy and coming up with the implementation strategy as well. Okay. Most strategies don't get to be executed because once you have a strategy, you'll be saying you have a strategy. Yeah. You ask people in the organization, they don't have an idea. They don't have an idea what that stands for. And the M stands for media and communication. So under media and communication, we are looking at strategic communication. We are looking at research and development. And we are looking at what we call executive media training.
Okay.
Executive media training, most executives, you are the face of the organization. And the success, this is the definition of my friend Balozi John Ulanga. Success to him, he says, is 50% what you do, 50% how you communicate what you do, and the pass mark is 70%. So most organizations, they don't get to communicate what they do.
Okay.
And that is the job of the executive in those positions to be able to do that. So we want to also help people in that one. Wow. And the last one is personal branding, helping executive, especially these in the middle level management, aspiring to go up. You have to brand yourself, or you are at the top of the organization. Outside Mwananchi Communications, who is Bakari Machumu? People should be able to see and engage you, relate with you outside your position.
Okay.
So brand me. How do we brand you? When you are creating the brand about your company, you should be also in the process be creating your personal brand. Yeah. So those are the things we focus at BSM Washauri, and as our vision goes, igniting the fire within you to make it happen. So I believe the moment you start by believing in yourself, we have a 3I philosophy. The first I, we ignite the fire within you. The second I, we inspire progress. Once you are ignited, you take action. Once you start taking action, now you are starting doing things. So we are inspiring progress. And if you get that in motion, the last part is inspiring generation. Now you will be impacting the world from generation to generation. And that is our slogan at BSM Washauri. Okay. Inspiring generation.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, looking forward to see what you do. Looking forward to see it grow. Yeah. So this was a very good conversation. I'm really, really honored that you're here. Yeah, and I'm excited for people who are going to listen to this, because I know I will revisit and listen to this over and over. There's so many insightful things that you shared, and we really appreciate, because as I said, there are not many platforms where we get to sit with people who are transforming the country, doing amazing things, as you said. So we just doing it on our own, and once you get there, you're not passing the knowledge down. So I really appreciate you for taking your time. And yeah, so all the best with BSM Washauri, and I'll be looking out for it. I'll be knocking on your door for coffee catch-up to get the insights over and over again. So thank you so much.
There's an invoice coming so that's mstaafu asifenja mjini.
Oh, wow. Okay, we'll wait for the invoice. Thank you. So thank you, everyone. I hope you really, really enjoyed this. And so whether you're driving or anything, listen to this. And if you like it and resonate with you, don't forget to subscribe, share. These are very impactful things. Share with other people so that they get to listen to these insights and live their life to their full potential. Thank you.
Asante sana.